in December of 2018, Joy Frances Collins was arrested in Fresno, California, and charged with child abuse after... This is awful. After she told her 8-year-old daughter to crawl under a train, a parked train, okay, so they could catch the bus on the other side of the tracks. Well, the train started moving.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Her daughter was dragged 500 feet and is no longer with us. Her daughter's name was Joyanna Harris, and she passed just moments after the train started moving. Oh, it's awful. And so she was just sentenced in October, and this story is just now breaking a little bit. And get this. So this Joy Frances Collins, in my opinion, didn't get enough. A life was lost here, and she only got 6 years. 6 years.
Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I do not feel like that's enough. And what's even worse is it's 6 years with credit for time served.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she has like 3 more years. This is just gnarly. This was her parent. This is wild. When I saw this, I had to talk about it because I don't think it's fair. I feel like we have cases where you see people that are getting overcharged in situations, and then you see cases like this where somebody's getting undercharged. Now, she had 2 kids with her, a 9-year-old boy and then her 8-year-old daughter, and they were trying to get to the bus on the other side of the train. Like, why you wouldn't just wait or go through the train from the top? I don't know, but... Her son went under first and made it, and the train started moving like as he was coming out, and he got a little scraped up, but the daughter got caught and drug, and it was just an absolutely awful scene. And I go back to, what kind of parent would ever suggest that? And she was suggesting, it's not like they ran away from her. She was like, hurry up. Hurry up. And then she only gets 6 years with time served.
I get that's a really, really bad mistake to make, but part of me wonders if, like, I doubt she wanted her daughter to get hurt.
That's not what it's about.
But I understand that. But at the same time, she made a decision that resulted in a really dumb, reckless, negligent decision that resulted in her daughter's horrible death. But she lost her daughter. Like, that's a huge consequence. That's a huge source of accountability. Like, she is no longer here, and you had to watch it, and it's your fault.
Yeah.
So, at the same time, like, is she a danger to the public where she needs to be put away for a really long time? I don't know.
Yeah, but there's still accountability, in my opinion, because, look, if you break down all the nuance in any situation, an 8-year-old, your 8-year-old that you are charged with taking care of, you made a decision that killed that 8-year-old. Is it different? Like, intent, in my opinion, doesn't matter there. It doesn't matter. What if...
There's different classifications in the legal system that are based off of intent.
I mean, sure. Yeah, I know there's different, murder 1, manslaughter, whatever. I get it. But do we really live in a society where we can have parents be this negligent, where you lose an 8-year-old daughter and you're getting 6 years with time served for the 3 years prior since trial? Like, she's going to be out in just a couple years. It doesn't sound fair to me. We need to be protecting our kids. This is the same kind of topic. Like, do I relate to her emotionally? Like, I understand how she's probably hurting, and this really sucks, and there is some life accountability there. But do we really want to live in a society where we can have, like, abuse of kids? Okay, we've covered this topic quite a bit, where it's like sexual in nature or physical, and the time that they get in their conviction is not enough. And then a situation where an adult made a decision for an 8-year-old and put them in harm's way, essentially put them in front of, you might as well have her try and run across the highway, like the 10 freeway in California with like 8 lanes, like that. You might as well just have her try and run across that, dude. To me, that shouldn't be taken into account. A life was lost. A life was lost, and it can't come back. It's not like you made a decision that caused someone trauma. They can go to therapy and work really hard and learn how to manage that trauma and get on with it and go through their life. No. A life was lost, and that can't ever be resolved, fixed, worked on, changed, anything like that.
I understand that. I just think that maybe the judge in this situation weighed the burden on the legal system with the benefit to society, and is she a danger to society at large? No, probably not. I would imagine she would not, even when she gets out, she's not just going to get her kid back, the one who survived. I'm sure she's going to have to jump through a lot of hoops to even be able to see him. And I'm just wondering, I'm trying to think why he made that decision.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just know that the image it gives is really crappy, and it makes me feel really negative about that justice system in that area, because in my opinion, kids need to be the one things that we do protect more than adults. You know, what if she put an adult in harm's way? A manslaughter charge is probably going to have more time than this. It doesn't feel fair to me. It doesn't feel fair in any way, shape,
like
or form.
Like a DUI?
Yeah, something like that.
Where you kill somebody?
Yeah, it just doesn't feel fair. I don't feel like that our kids' laws and sentencing and the accountability around that match the nature of the crime. And I see it a lot, and it's a problem, and it makes me want to bring these topics up and talk about them because, one downside to us humans, all humans, is we're so short-sighted. We have such a short memory, and we're not very good about planning for the future success of humans. We very easily get caught up in our own, life bubble and don't see outside that. But like the kids is the continuation of the human race. Don't you want your family, your kids to be able to, remember you, raise successful people, and create some amazing, life-changing stuff for humanity to continue to grow? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like a DUI death is it can be extended to like 14 years or something like that. Yeah. But
it just doesn't feel fair, and I wanted to talk about it because
it does seem short. It does seem on the shorter side, and I wonder why. I wonder if some circumstances within the courtroom pulled on the judge's heartstrings. I don't know. But I agree with you. Children are absolutely that's above all. Yep. Children are above all. They can't protect themselves, so adults and society need to be able to protect them. They need to be our priority because they are literally helpless.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, that's a super sad situation.
It is a sad situation, and it doesn't change the fact that I feel like, every decision we make is an example for another person too.
Yeah.
So
it is.
I'm gonna do my best not to get subjective when I look at this case and feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what that mom must be going through. I try really hard to stay outside of that, where I don't care what that mom is going through, because that happened already. There is nothing we can do to change the past. But we can change the future. We can handle this situation in a way that other parents see this and are like, ooh, do you remember that mom got like 25 years? Maybe I need to triple check my decisions I'm making and the situations I'm putting my kids in. Every decision is an example, and my goal is prevention.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious what you guys think, though. How do you feel about it? Do you feel like, the circumstances of this and the mom having to live with herself is accountability, and this sentence was fair, or do you feel like it should have been harsher?
Well, I think her having to live with it is, by all means, worse. If she's a normal human with feelings, is way worse than a prison sentence, but the prison sentence still matters a lot. It still matters for society and her accountability still.
Yeah, it's an example,
Yeah.
So, but let me know what you think.